Well, here we are again. It's Monday, and we have a lot of viewers in Texas, and we want to start today by acknowledging all the pain and violence that took place there over the weekend, including another mass shooting, this one just outside of Dallas on Saturday. Police say a 33-year-old man wearing tactical gear opened fire with an AR-15 style weapon outside an outlet mall, killing at least 8 people, including children. Many others were hurt in a hail of more than 100 bullets. The gunman was killed by a police officer who happened to be on the scene. Authorities have not released a motive, but they're investigating it as possible domestic terrorism after they found the shooter had neo-Nazi content on social media. He was also reportedly wearing a badge that reads RWDS. That is an acronym for right-wing death squads. Several eyewitnesses described the scene, including Raquel Lee, who said a store associate saved her life and 12 others. Take a look.
And the gunshots it sounded like a war zone. It was horrifying, and it felt like you were in a dream, like just shock. But we were in a bathroom closet, and we were just in the closet trying not to be heard, crying, praying. People were trying to call 911. We couldn't dial out. I just remember thinking, oh God, he's coming in here next. And when I was crouching down, like, I hope we don't get hit by a bullet. And then the store associate saved our life.
Raquel said as she was leaving, she saw that store associate was among those killed. Another witness, who was a former police officer and Army officer named Stephen Spainhour, well, he rushed to the scene after his son called to tell him what was going on. Take a look.
I don't know what the gunman's problem was. I don't know his motive. But it wasn't mental health that killed these people. It was an automatic rifle with bullets. That's what killed them. I'm a gun lover. I have guns. I'm a former police officer. I'm a former Army officer. But these M4s and AR-15s, they've got to get off the streets, or this is going to keep happening. And we've got to stop that at some point. It could be you. It could be your family member. I never imagined it would be me.
It could be you. It could be your family member. So what do you think about what happened, and also the fact that this man, who says he loves guns, is calling for a ban on automatic weapons? Have we reached a tipping point in the gun debate, Al?
When Texas lawmen and Army men are saying, yeah, we have, I think we have, Sam. And it's weird because I was going to start today talking about mass shootings, even if before I even learned about the situation in Texas. I was watching the 76ers Boston game, basketball game this weekend. It's one great game. And James Harden had an incredible game.
Oh, with his shoes.
When he hit his 6'3", which I needed, he looked up in the stands, and I started to tear up because I knew why. He invited one of the victims from the Michigan State shooting. Well, there's so many. He was he's an international exchange student from China here who's now wheelchair bound, and he signed his shoes at half court. And it was like so emotional because I'm with my kids, you know? And I turned the channel to learn about this. So I'm like, oh, so we were going to talk about mass shootings anyway. So you ask yourself, as I was like, oh, which one was Michigan? Remember Buffalo? Remember Uvalde? Like how many, we could do 5 DBLs and just go down the list. Erica, Jeff, Tori, Sam, I'm not going to say I don't know what to say. If this isn't a tipping point, then this is just life. We're down to those 2 choices. And it seems, so far, it's just been like we've just adapted to this way of life.
Yeah, Al, you can't remember, I'm sorry, but you can't remember because there's been almost 200 mass shootings just this year alone. That's why you can't remember. We need to do something. I mean, at least pretend like lawmakers are trying to do something, right? This Democrat, Republican, I'm keeping my feet in the ground, you can't take away my guns. Man, we're at the point now, we're so numb to this, so numb that we don't even acknowledge it. If you misgender somebody, it leads the news rather than a smaller school shooting. Let's get that person canceled. Let's rally up our base and get this person canceled for misgendering somebody. Where's the outrage for kids' faces being blown off? Because that's what happened here. Someone's face got blown off and people are like, whatever, let's save a turtle. They passed legislation to get rid of plastic straws in California to save the turtles. We have to drink out of paper straws now in California. There's nothing that we could pretend to do to at least move forward, to unite on this issue. We're not saying take away guns. Stop with that. I'm so sick of that conversation. We're saying get rid of AR-15s, get them out of the hands of crazy people. If you're mental, which you are, don't say that word. I'm so offended. If you're mental, you don't get a gun.
Jeff,
just like if you don't pass your driver's license, you don't get a drive. You can't drive.
It's not just guns. And
it's like to the point now.
It's not just guns, Jeff. You know what's so crazy? When they showed the half shot of the murderer monster that did this, I was like, why are they showing a police officer that's been killed? That's the kind of tactical equipment he had on. He had on that vest where you can have other clips and your walkie-talkie when you're a cop. I thought it was a police officer. That's the military grade stuff on.
Listen, if I were Biden, I'm just going to say this very quickly. If I were Biden, I would shut down the government. I would shut down the government and say, I will not pass any more legislation at my desk unless it is gun control. He passed the federal assault weapons ban in '94 as a senator. I will ask any Republican if they could speak to come to the White House. Ben Sasse, anyone that's made a little inkling that they're compromising. You will sit in the White House with another Democrat until you are compromised. Days could go by. I will not move one thing forward unless it is gun control legislation.
It's not.
Period.
It's not just Republicans, though, that are not passing gun control legislation. It's Democrats, too. We had a number of Democrats here in Colorado that failed a couple of weeks ago when we asked to have a AR-15 ban, and they failed us. So our state legislators have failed us. Our federal government has failed us. To Jeff's point, they don't care. They don't. We have countries this morning issuing warnings to their citizens to not fly to America. France, the UK,
Australia.
Canada, Australia, New Zealand, the list goes on, warning their citizens, don't go to America because of the mass carnage because of guns. So listen, you can't count on politicians to do anything. Biden has failed us. Both sides of the aisle has failed us. It is time for we the people to act. I'm serious. Peacefully, but I'm serious. If you want a real call to action, I beg of you four. I beg of this studio. I beg of our viewers. Go to here, number 4, the Kids Action. I swear to you, here for the Kids Action. How many times have we seen social change in this country when we the people organized and unified?
Gay marriage.
Every single time it came from we the people. Don't rely on the politicians. We need to come together. I'm serious. No more politicians. No more. I trust you, I trust you, I trust you, I trust you, and I trust my neighbors. We'll be right back. Go to here for the Kids Action right now.